Alright, y'all, so let's talk about my ranking for the X trilogy. Now that we've watched Maxine and rewatched Pearl and X, I wanted to go ahead and give you my ranking as everybody is doing their rankings now. And I really love how it's all over the place. Like, it's really hard to find anybody really agreeing with somebody else on the rankings and why. So here's mine right now. So let's just get into it because at number 3, which is the lowest, I do have Maxine. Before we get into my thoughts on that, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell. We're on the road to 35,000 subscribers. We just hit 31,000 this past weekend. Let's get to 35,000 by the end of the month. But let's talk about why Maxine is at the lowest for me. So let me tell you, I've been a fan of this whole trilogy. When X first got announced, I was excited to see Ty come back to the horror, and I was excited to see Mia Goth, Jenna Ortega, Kid Cudi in this movie. And once I saw X and I saw there was a post-credit scene to Pearl, and then I saw that they were doing a movie for Maxine after Pearl, I was just like, Mia Goth and Ty West got it. They're gonna make the perfect trilogy. So my excitement, my want for Maxine was huge, especially this year, as we were very much so getting some very cool imagery, some great teasers. Everything was going good. And then I sat with the movie this Monday, and I will tell you, I enjoyed the movie for the most part. I was very excited with it. As soon as it started, I think it was very strong, and I was happy. I was ready to see this movie and see what was going to be the whole thing about it, right? Was this movie going to live up to the previous 2 films, which of course X, this is a sequel to X, and of course we have Pearl, which was a prequel to X, but this was the direct sequel to X, which is a movie that started it all. Let me tell you that I think that the cast here is the best thing. Mia Goth, Elizabeth Debicki, you also have Moses Sumney, Michelle Monaghan, Bobby Cannavale, Halsey, Lily Collins, Giancarlo Esposito, Kevin Bacon, all great, all amazing. I was very excited to see all of these characters, what they were doing, and I was just like, yeah, this is a good film. And then we get to the middle part of the film, and I think Kevin Bacon and Mia Goth's performance together here was great up until a certain scene when a character is completely axed. And then I was just like, okay, where do we go from here? Because that was all the momentum the film had, really, because up until this point, people were getting picked off, and I was just like, now that this character's gone, where do we go from here, right? I guess we unravel the mystery, and once that mystery got unraveled, I was just like, yeah, I don't think I needed this to be a mystery at all. Like, if that's the reveal, I don't see it. And we were just there sitting like, okay, where does this end? And then the ending came, and I was just like, it was a very half-felt reveal. I think it was very rushed at the end. It became comical parody of itself. And now I'm not trying to say that this was always that very down-to-earth and gritty type horror, but I think that the film tried to present itself in that manner at the very beginning and towards the middle of it as well. So then when it goes full-on blown parody of what it's done before, I was just like, yeah, this just is whatever, and let it end however it ends. So that's why Maxine is at the lowest for me, because I think that Pearl and X had very strong third acts, if anything, and I think that Maxine really drops the ball. It's like it became kind of scared of itself, of what it was trying to do or say. So that's why it ranks the lowest for me on the trilogy. At number 2, this was a hard one to decide, because at one point, if you asked me this question a month ago and I watched Maxine a month ago, number 2 would be the one that I have at number 1. But after some rewatches, I definitely feel confident in this. I do put Pearl at number 2. I had it at number 1 for the longest when it first released. I really love Pearl. I think that it is such a great character study of the character of Pearl. I think this is Mia Goth's strongest performance out of the trilogy too. I will say that. I think Mia Goth really excelled in this. That monologue in itself is far better than Maxine. And hey, I don't know. Y'all can say whatever, but that's how I feel. If you feel differently, totally fine. But I think that Mia Goth really knocks it out of the park. There's so many instances in this movie that just feel very classic and iconic. As to Maxine, I can't really take many scenes that I feel would fit into that compared to what Pearl and X gave us. Like, there are so many quotable things in that one. But when it comes to Pearl, I think what Ty West and Mia did so perfectly is really have these parallels between X and Pearl, and the feelings and the lines and also the callbacks, and all of that just went so well. They try to do it in Maxine, and it kind of felt a bit corny at times. That's just my opinion. Like I said, I may be wrong to you, and that's totally fine. I'm just saying. but I do think that Pearl is such a strong film. And when it comes to scores, like if you want to know how far away it is, I would give Maxine a 3.5 and I give Pearl like a 4.5. So it's like a whole star difference for me when it comes to these two films. I just really love the world building that they had for Pearl, which was just contained to herself, her world. Albeit Maxine is a bigger playground, there's more characters, there's a lot of more things happening, but I think it is just so much more interesting that we're just in this little farm with Pearl and we're just with her the whole time, seeing as all of this unfolds. And I thought that was just a great film in my opinion. Very much so one of my favorite slashers. So number one on my list, of course, you know, is now X. Now, I did not really think X was going to be my favorite out of the trilogy when I first watched Pearl. I thought that Pearl was always going to be number one. And I hadn't seen X since its release in 2022. And then I watched it a couple of weeks ago for the 6-minute teaser that we're going to show for Maxine. I went to that. And rewatching that in the theater with a packed crowd, I forgot how much fun X was. I really did. It was such a fun comedic film that had some great horror in it. It was very much so bone chilling to think about this happening, and at the same time had a little bit of a feeling about this whole thing about growing old and not really feeling adequate and not really feeling that you did your best in your life. And I thought that Ty really did such a great job at portraying these things. The opening shot to X is also the best shot out of all the openings from the trilogy. That whole like dolly shot out of the barn doors showcasing the police officers and everything, that something just happened here that is horrible. That is such a great way to open a film like this. And I really think that Ty and Mia really did an amazing job here as well. Mia Goth plays two characters. She plays Pearl, she plays Maxine, and I think that she does a great job at it as well, because these two characters feel very distinct at the beginning, but by the end of the film you see where they're both coming from, and I really enjoy this performance from Mia here. Albeit, like I said, I don't think it's her strongest performance in the trilogy, but as a whole the cast works very well here. Whereas I feel in Maxine they were just going from cast member to cast member showcasing them. In here the ensemble, it feels put together and strung up well, and I think that this all just is a testament to these actors. Everybody there did an amazing job in their own role, and I was very pleased with it. Mia Goth, Jen Ortega, Martin Henderson, Brittany Snow, Owen Campbell, Stephen Ure, and Scott Mescudi. Amazing job, honestly, and that is why that's the way I'm ranking them. I really don't know if I will change the rankings when I rewatch them again, but that's how I'm feeling right now. I still think the trilogy as a whole is very good. I would give it definitely an A for them if you watch them all together. I do believe Maxine is very weak in comparison to the other two, and I definitely don't see it as a standalone film. I see it as an extension to X. I mean, they could have just given us a 3-hour film called Maxine, and I think that would have been better if you put them together. But let me know your thoughts and opinions on my ranking. What is your ranking? Drop it down below. I'm curious to know. We got some videos coming for you this week, so make sure you're subscribed. We got a review on Exuma. Also, we got a Long Legs review coming out this week for you as well, and another film that we're going to be watching as well. We got a ton of reviews, tons of videos, tons of ending explains, a lot of explanation videos. We got a ton of series. We got a whole series on Long Legs. Go check it out. A new update to the website on Monday. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. 35,000 subscribers is the goal this month, and as always, I'll see you next time. Stay safe, stay positive.